Welcome to my channel. This happened when I was in college. It was late at night, and I was working on an all-nighter in my dorm. My roommate wasn't there. He was off doing some stupid crap I didn't know about. And our RA, that's resident assistant, was also out for the night. So I had the entire dorm floor to myself. I was writing a paper when I heard what sounded like screams in the middle of the night. Now, these were definitely not human screams. They were too animalistic for that. Whatever was making them was definitely big and angry. I don't remember exactly what they sounded like, but the closest thing I can think of is what a big cat might sound like if it was in extreme pain and fear. Big, guttural screams. Now, being the skeptic that I am, I just kind of assumed that there was a big animal loose somewhere, maybe a big cat or a bear or something. The school was up north in a wooded area, so it wasn't completely out of the question. Also, this was before smartphones were really common, so I didn't have any way of knowing if other people had heard anything or if anyone else was even there. So I just kind of sat there writing my paper, trying to ignore it until it stopped. Then I started hearing what sounded like footsteps in the hallway outside my room. Footsteps that were heavy and getting closer. I could hear them getting louder, and then I started hearing what sounded like dragging metal moans. Like I said, I'm a skeptic, but that doesn't mean I wasn't scared shitless sitting there in the dark listening to whatever the hell was outside my door. Then the doorknob started to turn. I watched in horror as the doorknob turned slowly, like whoever or whatever was out there was taking their time. The door opened, and a big, bright light suddenly filled my face. I couldn't see anything in the darkness, but I could hear the footsteps coming closer. They stopped right outside my bed. And then I saw a pair of eyes glowing in the dark. These weren't any ordinary eyes. They were reptilian eyes. I remember thinking, how could any human have eyes like that? They were cold and soulless, and seemed to glow from within. Then the creature opened its mouth and I saw rows and rows of sharp teeth. Its tongue flicked out and I could see a forked tongue. I started screaming as loud as I could. This thing took a step closer and I could see more of its body. It looked vaguely humanoid, but it was covered in what looked like scales. It took another step closer and I could see that it had huge, feathery wings. This thing looked like a demon straight out of hell. It took another step closer and I could see that it had claws. Big, nasty claws. It took one more step and it lunged at me. I don't remember anything after that. When I woke up, I was in the hospital. Apparently, I had passed out and hit my head pretty hard. I had a big gash on my forehead that required stitches. The doctor said that I was lucky. I had basically given myself a concussion by smacking my head into the side of my bed. The whole thing was really weird because I don't remember hitting my head. Must have done it when I was thrashing around like an idiot. The nurse said that someone had called 911 and that's why I was in the hospital. But neither the police nor the paramedics could find anyone who had called it in. What's really weird is that the next morning after everything had happened, I got a phone call from my RA. She told me that she had gotten a call from someone saying that they needed medical attention and that we should check in on me. That's when she found me with a bag of ice on my head. But here's the thing. When I called her that night, I had been screaming bloody murder. It's not like I was quiet about it. And she lived right down the hall from me. She would have heard me screaming. Plus, she had a key to my room. I'm pretty sure she would have checked on me. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So that begs the question, did I really scream? Or did I imagine that part? I mean, I remember screaming. But maybe I had a concussion at that point and my memory is just totally off. Maybe that's why nobody else heard me. Maybe I was just making noise but not actually screaming. Whatever it was one of the scariest things I've ever experienced. I still don't know what that thing was or why it attacked me. But sometimes when I'm laying in bed at night, I can still hear those footsteps coming closer and closer. And sometimes when I close my eyes, I can still see those glowing reptilian eyes staring at me in the darkness.